Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our Zoom conversation. Thank you all for, actually, thank you for all of you all for coming on. Again, I'm just so grateful, and I just thank you all, Kim, Zelda, Anthony, Cheryl, and Steve. Thank y'all for coming on constantly and being faithful. God is blessing. That's all I can say. I'm going to say prayer, and then I have a few announcements, and then we're going to go on to the next. Father God, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the talk that is about to take place. And we ask that you make sure, or we make sure, that it is in right standing with you, that we are correct in what we're saying, Lord, so that we won't offend anybody, but also make known that what is good and godly and righteous and what is not. So on that note, I thank you so very much for your blessings, and I ask that you continue to keep this talk going because it is very important. In Jesus Christ's name we pray, amen. Okay, I have a few announcements before we start. One is a correction. Last week when the couple was on, I did have to make the correction of Dr. Carlton Ashby. He is not that he didn't show up, and it's not that he was late. We actually had our times mixed up. So I thought we were supposed to meet on Saturday. He thought we were supposed to meet on Friday. I just need to make that clear because he is a man of very punctual, and I don't want to make it seem like he didn't show up. So it was just a miscommunication. That's it. Okay, so we have a couple of announcements with the people that are normally on Zoom. Sylvia won't be on tonight because she lost her other brother, George. And remember last month she lost her brother, I think it was Larry, but this time it's George. So the funeral was today. So we can please keep her in prayer. Also, Robin won't be on tonight because her mother's ill. They had to take her back to the hospital. So we're just asking that we keep each other in prayer. It's very important. And the reason why I say that is just real quick before we go into the lesson. If you have anybody, and the Holy Spirit just put this on my mind, if you have anybody that you have not forgiven, that you have an ought against, or you think they have an ought against you, get it right with them and do it as soon as possible. This past week, and actually yesterday, we had a family gathering, and I call it Brenner. Brunch and dinner, but it was basically with friends and family, all women, because at some point in our relationships, we got off track, and some people were offended, or maybe this person, didn't say something and there was an offense. So if you have any offense against your brothers, your sisters, your anybody, friends, whatever, that you all have had a falling out on, I beg of you to get it right, because we had such a great time afterward. Everything was forgiven. We said scripture, it was God. So I'm just saying, anybody who's listening to this, Cheryl was there. She'll tell you it was actually God ordained, and all malice, whatever happened in the past was squashed. And so I'm thankful for that, and we're moving on to the future. And I said, we don't know what people are going through in their lives. We just don't know. And so we have to check on each other. And sometimes we do get offended with one another, but don't let that offense last to the point where you stop talking, you stop communicating, and you just don't want to be bothered. Because again, go back to, if you don't forgive, then God won't forgive you. So that's all I have to say on that. All right, so we're going into, this is the name of our chat tonight. It is called, and Cheryl came up with this one. Is it acceptable to marry someone younger than you? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Are you a cougar or sugar daddy? Or you just think that love has no color or age? So we're going to go into this particular discussion. Now we have Bible to back it up, but can I get your opinion on what you think is acceptable? How many years, or it doesn't matter? So we're going to go into that first. And then I think the men have advantage over the women as far as age is concerned and relationships. But we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So can I get someone's opinion on this particular subject?
I'm ready to start.
Okay, Steve.
Okay, well, in many times that I have known, the man has always been a few years older, at least no more than 3 years older than the woman. And then on top of that, okay, you got to look at, have you shared some of the similar experiences? Like if if you both were in high school, that perhaps could work. But sometimes when it's too many years and each person is not at a level of maturity, it just won't work. So it really depends on the people, how hard they want to work at it. Do they really trust that God has presented that person to them and that they want to make that love work? Because it has worked, and I know it has worked, but it's not for me. I can't say it, make me as an example because I'm not one of those married people. But more than likely, a lot of people say, no, get somebody your age. More than likely, but that's all. I'm up in the air about it. I don't have no real opinion, but I just say I'm optimistic to say, yeah, I think it can work if you work hard enough at it. If you feel God has told you that's the person that you should marry, and you work through all of the finance, all the living arrangements, the family inside of and the family outside. When I mean inside, I mean your close family. Outside is the people far away from you. Tasks that each person, you learn what tasks each person can do the best, and you let them do that. You got to treat people as equals. No matter if they're adult age, you got to treat them as equals. If they can live up to that, your standard, you can live up to their standard, it can work.
Okay.
That's what I say.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Anyone else?
Me?
Tim?
For me, I would have to go deeper into like the couple. I have to learn a lot more about them because I can't just say the age difference is not right or whatever the case. I can't base it off of just meeting some right then. So it just depends on me knowing a lot more about the couple themselves. But if I really wanted to be just talking or just saying something or just, I guess, not being fair about it, I could say no. I don't agree with somebody like a way 20 years older than someone dating someone or whatever. But hey, like I said, I try not to go there because I don't know what the dynamics of the relationship is about. And as kind of piggyback a little bit off of what Steve said, it could be, the maturity level. You just don't know. Like for me, my husband is 6 years older than me. I have always dated older men. I have dated someone younger, but for me, I have to really look into if you're younger than me, your maturity level and all of that, where you going and everything. Even older people could not be there, meaning mentally. So mentally, strength is one of my main things. If you got a childish mind, even if you're older or younger, we may not, we probably won't even work out as far as that part. Actually, my husband acts much where he did. In the beginning, it's like it changed. He acted a little bit younger than me, and he told me I acted like I was like 60, 70 some years old, and I was like really high. But anyway, and so because he said that was not necessarily meaning I guess he said my maturity level was just that wisdom that was there. So he wasn't saying it in other kind of way, but now it's kind of reversed. He has slowed down a lot, and I'm a little bit more outgoing than he is. So, but like for me, it would for me. I had to really get into the whole relationship, the background, check it out, and see. I can't just say no age differences, and no, I couldn't just say that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
I think I was gonna say, like I said, case to case basis to each and everyone that gets into a relationship, whether young or old. Everybody has their love, and love has I guess, no age. Sometimes, I mean, you just gotta feel it with the heart, and if it feels right for both of them, hey,
Mhm.
I say, hey, even if I like my daughter, she married somebody 10 years older than her. I'm like, I would talk to the young man and see where his level is head at. Hey, if things work great between them two and the way he's talking, I'll bless her. That's it.
Mhm. Okay. Anyone else? Cheryl and Z? Y'all have any comments?
I've always been attracted to men more older than me. Not a whole lot older, but just older than me. So
Mhm.
I don't know what God has in store for me as far as the age is concerned, but I don't know. I've never been attracted to anybody younger, but not to say that I wouldn't, talk to them. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Z. And Cheryl,
Mhm.
you have your mute off. You have to take your mute off, Cheryl. Well, while she's doing that, I'll just tell you mine. I have always dated older men. My ex-husband, former husband, is 9 years older than I am. I've always been attracted to older men. I've never dated any younger men, but I think, and that's the next question, if that's so, what do you think? And this is just a question that's being thrown out. It's not an end all discussion. We're discussing what would be acceptable to you, not anybody else. What would be acceptable to you as far as the age is concerned, as far as how much older that person could be, and what would the youngest age that you would date someone. So Cheryl, answer your question, and then we'll go on to that question. Answer the question that we just had.
Well, to me, I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't think age really has that much to do with it. I think, like Steve said, it's maturity, because you can actually meet somebody that's your age and older and still not come to the table with any life experiences. So to me, I would have to have a conversation or spend some time with that person and just see where they're coming from.
Mhm. Okay. So if you saw where they were coming from and you got the age thing, would that bother you if that person, let's say for a woman, because this is where I guess the controversy comes in. It's more acceptable for a man in society, not, I'm just saying in society, to have a woman that is much younger than him as opposed to a woman. So what would be the age cutoff for you?
For me, maybe 5 to 10 years younger would be
Okay.
my cutoff.
5
Because
to 10
I
years.
was told that men or boys, let's say boys, as we come up, mature a lot slower than girls. So when we are 20, they're still 16. So, I mean, it was explained to me that a man's maturity level, is a little bit slower. So that being said, depending on the individual, and the only way you would find that out is to spend some time talking to them, or spend some time, relating
Mhm.
and doing the ice cream Sunday book.
There we go. There we go, Cheryl. Go ahead, girl. Okay, okay, anyone else?
Yeah, I want to say something on that too, if you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead,
I
Steve.
think Cheryl right. I would put it at 12 years, because I always heard the superstition that, he trying to rob the cradle, So that's kind of a lot of years to make up. But there are people that are experienced and mature And there's some people are slower. And she right about that. Men do grow up slower. I think about 3 years behind. We about 3 years behind the girls. So if the girls, like she said, the girls 20, then the man, you can expect the man might be 17. But if they both, that's in high school. If they both, you know, she's out of high school and he's just about finishing high school, when you know, they're on the same level.
Right.
Culturally or socially, they're still on the same level. They both got the same friends.
Yeah, but as you mature, a 60-year-old and a 20-year-old, that's a
That way-
huge gap.
Yep, that probably won't work. The only thing that man might think that he might want a baby, or he might want a trophy wife, or somebody he can say, oh, look at that. I got that young woman. She's still interested in me as old as I am. Well, there are a lot of us old men that still look good, even though we past 60. Now I tell you that. But I ain't gonna run after no 20-year-old. I don't think I can run that fast. That's all I can say.
All right, Tony, do you agree about the maturity of a person? Does women mature earlier or faster than men?
Yeah, that is true. I agree with you on that. Women do, they do have a more stable mind than some men as growing up in youth years. The more stable. But I do have a case that I actually, one of my exes, she married a classmate of her. Actually, one of her classmates married her dad, and they still together over 20 plus years. They still together.
Wait a minute, her classmate, your ex's classmate married.
Your
Her dad.
ex-father.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they've been together for over 20 plus years. And my daughter's, like I said, my daughter wasn't even born. She's 22 now. So it's over 20 years they've been married. I mean, a high school mate of hers married her dad and they still together.
wow.
Yes. I mean, as I said, that's
So
that's
love
like,
has
wow.
no color or
That's
age.
it. That's it. That's you can't get no proof of that. I mean,
No,
and I talk to him.
you
I talk to
cannot.
him all the time. I talk to my ex-father-in-law and yeah, they're still married. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think that there were a lot of challenges though, especially if you are dating someone with that age gap? Would the family accept that person? Like the children, okay?
Yeah,
You
she
dating,
didn't like, yeah, my ex-wife didn't like it. She didn't like it at all. Here's a high school mate, classmate, marrying her dad. She didn't
Her
like it, but
dad.
now she accepts it now because I mean they were right for each other. I mean, today, I mean, they're right for each other. I mean, they still together, you know.
right? Well, we're gonna have proof on that too. We're going to go to the Bible. Z, you have one, and then Kim, you have one. And this is really interesting. These are powerful men. One is King David and one is King Xerxes. So Z,
Okay. And King David was old and advanced in years. They covered him with bedclothes, but he could not get warm. So his servants, the physician, said to him, let there be sought for my lord, the king, a young virgin, and let her wait on and be useful to the king. Let her lie in your bosom, that my lord, the king, may get warm. So they sought a fair maiden through all the territory of Israel and found Abishag, the Shunammite, and brought her to the king. The maiden was beautiful, and she waited on and nursed him, but the king had no intercourse with her.
So they sought, see, look at this though. Look how the Bible puts it. They sought a beautiful young woman. It couldn't be just anybody. Now, let me ask you this. A warm body is a warm body, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter if you are out in the cold and it's your warm bodies, right? So it doesn't matter how you look, but they specifically sought out a young virgin who was very beautiful. Now the Shunammite, which are the same, they're synonymous with each other. They were considered very beautiful women. And let's go to King Xerxes. Kim, you have Esther.
And when Esther was taken to King Xerxes into his royal palace in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. So you just want me to read
Okay.
16, right? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's it. So bottom line is, he was born 26 years before her.
Hmm.
So he was 26 years older. She was 14 and he was 40 when they
Hmm.
married. So that's a 26-year difference. That's huge. But like Kim was saying earlier, that's what statutory rape right now in this day and age. You're 14 years old as opposed to 40, that's huge. But even now, it is more acceptable for a man to marry a younger woman than it is an older. So let's say a 40-year-old and a 14-year-old or a woman. Now that right there would just, it would outrage you. I mean, would it not? Hello?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Society too.
Society, right. However, if a man is older and he marries a 14 or 16-year-old, something may be said, but it's not going to be an outrage like it would be for a woman. Why is that? And here we see clearly that it is acceptable to do that in the biblical days. So I think that's why it has perpetuated itself even into today's society. So what do you all think that is? That a woman cannot do that and a man can. Not that they can't, but they're looked upon and they are, basically called the cougars, which is not a good term for a woman at all.
No,
It just isn't. But that's what they are called. Now, a sugar daddy, what's a sugar daddy, y'all? Come on, what's a sugar daddy? I'm gonna get to you, Steve. This is a good conversation because I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference.
Okay, the sugar daddy is somebody that is exceedingly, the young lady know the man got money, he's secure, and I feel like I'm gonna take advantage of that old man because he wants me. And so they go after him and he provides them almost everything they want and they stick with him. All they got is they can make up their mind, they're gonna leave him after they get all they think they want. It ain't based a lot on love, it's based a lot on exceedingly desire. Too much desire because what he has, what his position is, what his image is, and they said that's gonna bring me to a higher level. That's gonna raise me up. Now in the Bible days, the women had, some men considered them property, and they had the task of taking care of their family, and the men had to be the provider, which is mostly has gone to today's time, that the men still are looked on as the provider. And you can't be a good provider. Many times you have to be able to work, and you have to be strong enough to work, smart enough to work, and keep a good job, and have a secure place and a desire to love that woman. That's what it's gone
That's
to.
what a sugar daddy is.
Huh?
Okay.
And to add to that,
Mm-hmm.
I, just talking with people sometimes they and put into a sexual term all of what Steven said, but also they feel like women feel like a sugar daddy. They don't have to give them much sex. They might flash their breasts or show them the breasts and to be real, let them suck the breast. And that's all. It ain't a whole lot of sex. I ain't got to give him a whole lot of sex. He's satisfied. And he going to pay my bills. He going to take care of me, whatever I want, give me money for spending and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sugar daddy.
That's the sugar daddy, right?
I was gonna say something, like you were saying, the lady before, it's like a good for services. He's providing the goods and she's giving the service, like the physical look and everything. It can have to be, be like you were saying. That's what I was gonna say also. So you hit it right on nose.
Yep.
That eye candy something else for that old man now.
Yeah.
The eye candy something else.
And eye candy, yeah, that's something, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Okay, so is it wrong? I mean, not, I'm just saying, is it morally wrong? Think about it now. Is it morally wrong?
It depends on who's looking.
Right,
Looking at it.
Okay, okay,
True.
so who's looking?
That's right. Are you looking? Am I looking?
Well, that's what I'm asking though. I mean,
Personally, to me, it is morally wrong because, as like he said, it's just the exchange of services for goods. It's really no, and I'm not gonna say, well, if you actually say this man is my sugar daddy, then hey, I don't see that there's no true love there. It's nothing. It's just what you can do for me, and I just do a little bit for you, or I look good on your arm when we go somewhere. That's about it. It make my boys or my friend be like, woo, he got a trophy on his arm. And then half of the guys probably say he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing with her. He can't handle that. He can't handle that. But I morally no, I don't think it's right. But people do it every day, and like you said, it depends on who see it. Some people, hey, gone, I ain't mad at you.
so the bottom line is, so let's just cut to the chase. So the bottom line is, you're just talking about prostitution. Then, if you are exchanging your body for material gain or money or whatever, that's what you're doing. You're prostituting yourself. I mean, is there another word for it? Because that's the only word I can think of. Anybody?
No, that's it. That's what it is. And I actually, not to change the story, but actually, well, back in the days where women, or well, mainly women, I don't, men may have done it too. Well, I guess it wasn't with escorts. But anyway, they would stand on the corner and flash, try to go, go somewhere and make out or whatever they pay them. They changed the game up now, where it's like an app or you go on the computer and you do it and you meet up just to do that. That's the different way now that they do prostitution. They meet up just to do that, exchange the money, and they out.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't
Sophisticated
know.
prostitution.
Say what?
Say that again,
I
Cheryl.
said sophisticated prostitution.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
That's what it is.
And it's just changed with the time that, technology and everything has been involved. We don't have to, well, I ain't gonna say we, 'cause I don't prostitute, but they don't have to do it the old fashioned way, where, it's noticeable and the police, basically watching you. But now they kind of just do it, I guess, from my understanding, what I was told, and I actually forgot the website, but it is like they go up there and I guess they put in, I don't know how it go, if it's, you got pictures, I don't know, I doubt that, but I don't know how they do it. But you meet up somewhere and do what you do at a hotel or wherever y'all decide to meet at, and that's all it is. And I guess they get their money before you meet up. I don't know.
Yeah.
What if somebody get your money don't show up? I don't know. But I guess that's how it goes. So
Okay, so then it goes also for the women as well, because nowadays I see a lot of women, older women, literally wanting younger men, but younger men pursuing older women. Number one, because they have money, they are lonely, some of them are lonely, and they want sex. And they will take care of that younger man, that much younger man. Same thing. It's the same thing, so, wow. Well,
I mean, I was gonna say that book, that Stella Got a Groove Back. Is that true book?
it's not
you
true.
asked, is it true?
You're right. Well, I'm pretty sure in some instances it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure that happens all the time. But now look at this though. This is the consequences of that, is look what happened to her. Nothing, I mean, especially if you're doing it that way, don't be all mad or upset because that person used you and then dumped you or left you brokenhearted, because you put yourself in that situation. And because you are either thinking that this person that you are buying, because that's what you're doing,
Mhm.
You're buying that person. You can't buy love. Really, you can't help who you love, who you fall in love with.
That's true.
But when you buy love, it's not true love. It can, you can make it seem like it is. You can cuddle and do whatever and tell them or all of the good stuff that they want to hear. But at the end of the day, it's not love.
It's just for the moment.
It is just for the moment. And what a sad life that would be, I think. What a sad life to have that, and you have to buy your love, buy love. I'm not.
And
I want to add something to that.
and I know women do it as well, but you know, you do hear a lot of talks, and it's known like men go through menopausal stage as well, or I say around that
Midlife
age
crisis.
50, yeah, midlife crisis, and around the age of 50 or whatever the case, they go through this phase. Some of them, and the men can, tell me. I don't know because I felt like my husband went through it, where they start changing up things or they want to look younger. Or I think they just trying to see, do they still have it?
You have it. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like, can I still pull
Mhm.
this, or or whatever the case? Because he went through like a whole thing of upgrading like his car, and like, I was like, okay, okay. So, and sometimes, and it could be just that they trying to see if they still got it. But even when we was talking about sometimes, women dating younger men and vice versa. But I also venture off, and that'll come with me having to talk with them in deep details and not only one time. Is it any type of self-esteem issues and something going on or feeling? Meaning, hey, I pulled this young man or woman, hey, I must still got it going on, or it makes me feel good, whatever the case. They make me feel good, or whatever they may be saying, because I'm not getting it now, whatever. And they saying all the right things because they may be at a low point of their life.
But is that love? No, I mean,
No, it's not love, but hey, they gonna want to think it is what it is
right.
at the moment in time.
Now, what about, because Cheryl, you and I were talking earlier about your former husband and how you would go into the church and you have to tell the story, Cheryl, because this is deep. Go ahead.
Well, we used to go to church together, and for some reason he started going to church at different times, and I couldn't understand why. So one day we got in a deep discussion, and I was like, why do you go to church and leave your wife? If we Christians, we should be going to church together. And he said, well, when we go together, you get too much attention, too many people looking at you and not looking at me. I'm like, are you serious?
And he
But
was, yeah, yeah. Because Cheryl, I'm sorry, Cheryl, if you ever see Cheryl dress up, okay, especially when she's going to church, I mean, she's that lady with the hat, the matching, I mean, everything is matching and flawless. That's how she dresses. And every time you see her, I've never seen Cheryl in any kind of a frumpy kind of way. She's that bling woman, that bling bling woman that she's well put together. So, but for her husband to say that, it's just crazy. But then I shared a story with her, and I said I was riding in the car, and I was on the passenger side, of course, and this car pulled up, and there was a man beside, and he was looking, in the car at me. The driver, which is a male, that's what I'm saying. He looked over at the man and he said to me, he's probably thinking, look at that clown with her. I was done. That's the lowest self-esteem. But that's what he said to me. And I was like, wow. So I know that women have self-esteem issues, but it's rare. So when Cheryl shared her story, that's when I shared my story. Because I'm thinking this successful man, very nice looking, just the whole package. He said that to me. So that said something about how he felt about himself.
Mhm.
So same thing with Cheryl. So why, I don't know. So Tony or Steve, do you all have anything with that to say?
I got something to say, probably a lot to say about that. Well, that's when you discover the man is insecure. You might be married, you got a ring on your finger, but the man next to you in the car looking at you, you looking fine, and he wants you. And so what he gonna do? He gonna downgrade your husband or ex-husband to make him feel bad so that he can take you. And you shouldn't let him, you shouldn't play into that or let that man get into your head or your man head. Well, you look fine. That's a compliment. But that's a bad way of saying it. That's just a bad way of saying it. And the other thing, I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about when couple get married, society and other people need to leave them alone, because they said in the Bible, when a man marries, he leaves his family to be with his wife. And that the same thing goes with society. They are a married couple. We as society need to leave them alone. That's what I had to say.
Okay,
That's it.
Tony, and then I'll say something. Good. Tony, you have something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, if I'm my wife or my lady friend or whoever I'm with, you can't stop another male or another female looking at the individual you're with. If you're going out to a dinner, the church, whatever it may be, people are gonna look at you, especially if you look nice. If she looks nice, guys looking at her, hey, that makes me feel good. That makes me, hey, I got something that they want, and just vice versa. If women looking at me and she knows women looking at me, I say, look, you with me, you shouldn't even worry about that. That's what eyes are for, to look. We cannot stop people from making their eyes look at whoever may be coming before, after, around. That's just life. There's no law against breaking. There's no law against somebody looking at your wife. There's no law against that. You can't do anything. You get mad because somebody looking at your wife. Now, when he acts on it, like saying, hey, can I, and you right with your wife, hey, can I talk to you? That's disrespectful. But you can't stop somebody from looking at your wife. The wife can't stop somebody looking at her man. That's just a rule of thumb,
Well, can I ask you this question?
Mhm, yeah.
Okay, well, when you say, yeah, I understand you looking, but when did it become when you staring? That's disrespectful. And some people, okay, what are your thoughts on that, you and Steve?
To me,
Okay.
Tony, you
Go
go
ahead,
first,
Steve.
then
Oh,
Steve.
hold on,
Tony,
let Tony answer first and then Steve.
to me, it still does not hurt me because I know if I'm confident in myself, that doesn't bother me. This man looking at my girl, hey, makes me feel great. And I'm like, hey, he likes what I got. He's wondering, how did I get it? I've actually had guys to tell this lady that what's so you see special about this guy? She said, you just got to know him like I know him. That makes me feel good. See, that's what men like. Why this guy? What's so special about this guy, Tony? What do you see in him? You just not him. That's why the girl said you just not him. That's why. I've actually had that happen to me.
I think maybe I needed to rephrase that. But what if it was like saying your woman or yourself just staring at another man, or you staring, just say you staring at not looking to say admire, but you staring like you don't undress that person with your eyes.
so with Tony, then it would be the woman staring at the man.
The man,
How
yeah.
would you feel, Tony?
How would I feel?
If your woman was staring,
Not look,
right?
and
So
just
staring.
but stare like.
They're
I would say,
staring at
what?
each other.
I would say, look, hey, the man must look good because you sure looking hard on her. I'll laugh about it. I'll laugh about
Okay.
it. And that's it. That's just me. Because I'm like this. Hey, that's just me. That man must look good because you sure sweat. I'm like, keep sweat.
Okay, but wouldn't you get offended or would you
No,
not?
no,
feel
I feel like
offended?
I would feel like it's
No.
disrespectful.
That's very.
Yeah, I would, that's
disrespectful.
definitely, I'm not gonna get up, I'm not gonna get upset about that. Not
Okay,
gonna do
hold
it.
up then, hold up. Okay, so it's okay for the woman that you're with to be attracted. Now, again, if you see an attractive person, you can't help but look.
That's
'cause
true,
what
and
eyes
that's
are
so
for.
true. We all got eyes.
Yes, but Kim is saying, if you are with this woman and let's say y'all are at a restaurant
Mhm,
and there's this very attractive man next to you all,
mhm.
and she can't keep her eyes off of him, but she's with you. And even if he's not even paying attention, the very fact that she is constantly looking, staring at him, that wouldn't be disrespectful to you?
It would, but, and that's why I said, like I said, that man must be Keith Sweat over there because you sweating him. Now you want to go over there and meet him? Hey, be my guest. You know, and we can end this date today, not tomorrow, today. And
So-
just move on, you know.
So
But
you
I'm
will feel some type of way.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just let them know that, you know, hey, this guy you sweating over there, hey, if is his name Keith or something? Because you sweating him. I mean, come on, don't be that overt open like that. You know, I mean, everybody gonna take a sneak here and there. You know, you walk and see somebody,
Yeah.
you take a look. You know, yeah, that's it. And you let it go.
Yeah.
You know, that's the human instinct in us. We all gonna
That's
look at something nice. You know, women gonna do it, men gonna do it, but we don't make
Exactly.
it overt to where it's crazy. That's where it's crazy. Like, I'm Keith Sweat. I'm gonna look at that man all damn it. You can't do that. Can't do that.
I
No,
mean,
that's totally
yeah,
disrespectful.
and that's honestly true because even I have seen a well-dressed, put together man, and I was like, and I have
Yeah.
even commented, I was like, that's a well-dressed
That's a
man.
nice
There you
looking
go.
And
man.
There you go.
my husband don't say nothing crazy like that.
You say
But
no.
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So-
See?
Okay, Steve, I guess.
Oh, I agree with what both folks saying, but when somebody's staring, to me, it might mean that, they ain't got themselves together. And they can't get over that fine looking woman that the man is with. And you as the man say, okay, you can walk over to the other pasture, but don't come back. You know, and women look at that and say, no, I ain't gonna give up my good thing for something that I see across the aisle. That's how a lot of people got that common sense. They do. They got that common sense. They done built up like a relationship, build up year after year after year. Okay, all of that is in your mind. Are you gonna throw all that away for something that you don't know? Most people ain't gonna do that. Most people ain't gonna do that. They're gonna say,
They
oh
probably
man.
won't.
I
They-
mean, you know,
they
some-
may.
now some do, but
Yeah, some will give it up for a one night fling or whatever the case. But I know a young lady that she was dating a guy and she noticed when they go out and she noticed it several times that he stares at other women. And that was a lustful spirit. So she was like, no, I'm not going to move forward in this relationship because he needs to be delivered from that lustful spirit. And I said, and I feel you. And yeah, because it's disrespectful and they dealing with some issues that they need to, get over and be delivered from.
I think the safest way to do it, especially if you are out with someone, this is what I used to do. That not even that anybody had insecurity issues, but for me to make that man feel secure with me. If somebody else were staring, I would just, if we were together, I'd either go in closer or grab his hand or something to let him know. And that person, that man that's staring,
Yeah.
I'm with him.
Yeah.
So whatever you think you're doing or whatever, it's not going to work because this is who I'm with, and I will make sure that that person knows that. So I think that would be, and even the same thing with when a woman, because the women are treacherous too. Sometimes women just do stuff just to do it,
Yeah.
and it's horrible. They just to see if they can, get that attention. And I remember now, whatever. My ex-husband, he never ever, I mean, if he saw it, he would make sure that woman knew that he was I was with him. So that's a plus. I think that's for anybody who's listening, do that because it will save a lot of arguments and insecurity issues and all of that stuff. So
That's true.
here's what it is. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, one other thing to say, if I can.
Yes.
Okay, now you're right about that, but sometimes when these folks are staring, they asking questions. And like you just answered, you showed that this is your man that you with, you interested in him. So you answer their question. They want to get a relation, they want to meet you, and they're looking for an end way. But see, you done close the door and said, no, I'm not interested in you. And that's right. That's the right way to do it.
Well, only
That
because I'm an observer. And so when
Yeah.
I'm out, I see couples and sometimes they just act like they're not together and they're not leaning in on each other and I'm not saying you have to be all up on each other, but at least let other people know that you are together.
Ownership.
What you say, Cheryl?
I say show some ownership.
Yes, yes. Somewhere where it's like, okay, we are together, so you can't come between us. And then more than likely, when you show that, look at the couple that was on last week. There's no way anyone would even try to come between them because he has made it so very clear from his point of view and hers. But see, we got to look at the man because the man, again, he's the one that is basically leading, especially if you're out in public. So when a man shows affection to his wife or his girlfriend or whomever he's with, that shows other people. We don't even try to come in between us because I'm letting you know that she's mine. That's, I think, where the men are the ones that lead in that way. Now, if you see somebody out in public and it's like you never see them hugging or kissing or holding hands or being affectionate, something is going on in that relationship. You can tell people all you want, oh, this is my wife and she's that and the other. Actions speak louder than words. It truly speaks louder than words. So,
Mhm.
anybody else?
Yeah, I got
Cheryl had
something
her
to say
hand
about
up.
that.
Cheryl? Mhm.
I just want to say, if you have when you have a zirconian ring, a diamond, you treat it one way. When you have a real diamond, you treat it another way. So you got to learn respect what you have. If you have a diamond, treat it like a diamond. And then you won't have to worry about it being taken away.
Wow.
That's good right
Yeah.
there, Cheryl. You said a mouthful. That's look, I gotta give you a hand on that one. Yes, yes.
And when you were saying, Lynette, with that, when the man step up and take that place, that gives that woman that confidence. Well, oh, I ain't worried about no one.
That's right.
He gonna put him in a place without even really saying words, and she could take her tail on somewhere, or hopefully she get the picture.
Mhm.
So yeah, that a woman won't necessarily have to even open her mouth because he
Yeah.
speaks it for her.
He did. And last week, the James, again, I looked at her, but she was very calm in her demeanor. Why? Because he made her feel comfortable. It was like, this is my boo, this is my baby, and I'm letting the whole world know. That, like you said, Kim, that's what a woman wants. I mean, really, that's what a woman wants in a relationship. Is that right there? Yeah, to feel secure and to make the man know. I'm sorry, Cheryl, and the man has to make sure that everybody else knows she's mine.
Yeah.
And he does just that. I'm telling you, I've gotten so many comments on that particular, I mean, a lot. And I said to them, they will help a lot of people, and they really have. People are, especially the married couples, oh yeah, they looked at that and they were like, wow, that's what real love is, right? Cheryl? Mhm.
I just wanted to say, men also, a woman feeling secure does not mean just protecting her against the man. Sometimes you have to protect her against that other woman too. When you see a situation and you see that it's gonna be out of control, then you need to address that. If you're a real man, you would address that and say, this is my woman. I do not appreciate you treating her like that, or you coming at her like that. So sometimes the man can speak up for what's his, whether it's against a woman or whether it's against another man.
That's good. That's very good. Yeah, that's true, Cheryl. That is very true. Wow. Any other comments? Because it's important. It really is. It's just important to feel safe in a relationship, to feel not only safe, but valued. Just really valued, that I don't have any worries when it comes to that. Now, we may have some other issues going on in our marriage, but that's not one of them. So.
I had something to say, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I liked about the couple last week is that they didn't let nobody make them feel uncomfortable in being good to one another. There was closeness with them, and he talked nice. He he gave her time to talk. She talked, and society sometimes outsiders try to make you feel uncomfortable when you're trying to be with your woman or your man. You know, sometimes they look at you and say, you ain't supposed to do that in public. And you ain't done nothing in public. It might just be simply holding hands or arm on the shoulder. But sometimes people look at you and say, what you trying to do? You do that in your house. Don't do that out in the public. Well, you can't let that bother with you. Like I said, the Bible says when the man leaves the home with his wife or, nowadays your girlfriend, we have no business. Stay out of their business. Stay out of their business. That's all.
Right.
You can look and say, oh, well, I would say that's nice. But other people might say, oh, I don't like that, because they might have issues behind the way they look or think. But we just have to stay out of it. That's them.
Yeah, that's true.
I really let them be beating on one another. That's all.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is, let's just, we're going to talk about this. When you are with someone, those who have discerning eyes know whether you are really, truly, genuinely in love with one another, or you're just doing it for show, for the public. Now, the James last week, I'm looking at him, and I said that because I'm an observer. He was on her the whole time. I mean, arm around him. And let me tell you this, I got a call just today, and the lady knows the couple from years ago. And she said they have since she's known him, he has always been that way towards her, maybe 10 years ago. Now, we don't know what happened, because they said that they've had some rocky times in their relationship, but she said he has always been like that towards her. And that was a beautiful thing to see, because every time she was talking, he was on it. I mean, he was just like in her mouth the whole time. And that is that was a beautiful thing to see. I mean, that's a great example of how you interact in public. So I don't think it's just they did it in public. From what I understand, they did it
at home.
Yeah, they do it at home as well.
And and I didn't see the entire video, but it also may come from because she made him feel safe and comfortable, and therefore he can display that affection and love because he's safe with her. He can trust her with anything. And I know that is a major thing for men, that they can trust you to, with whatever it is. They're ugly, they're bad, they're, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Because if they not, then hey, they could detour a whole lot of things and, distance from each other, whatever the case.
Right. Okay. Well, guys, we have 5 minutes. That's it. This went fast. Wow. And we started on time too. We're gonna wait for the next talk, and maybe we'll have some more, so everybody will have gotten a chance to look at the video before we talk about it, because I want everybody to just weigh in on it and from a godly point of view, everybody has their opinion. I mean, everybody's gonna have their opinion because that's what it is. But we have to go back to the Bible. You know, how would God look at that situation? And I'm going to talk about it after after I turn off the recording. So don't leave right now. So we have 5 minutes. So I'm going to stop it right now. Thank you all for coming. This has been wonderful. It's been a great talk. And Lord willing, we'll see each other next week. Okay? Have a good weekend or a good week. Take care.